Go! I do believe we're live. So I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider what we know. That is what today's stream topic is about what we know. Right? There is a biblical piece of wisdom that goes, we will only know in part. And I do think that is good wisdom to hold because it is true. We will only know in part. But the parts that we do know, I believe are good, right? I believe the parts that we do know are parts like the ones we're in right now. I'm trying to interface here, but my interface is not interfacingly. And there we go. It's working. Yay! Yes, perfectos. Yeah, here we are. Here we are. Another opportunity for us to know. What do I know right now? I know that I feel good. I spent some extra time today. I wanted to say punishing myself, but I think pushing myself has a better ring to it. Uh, I'm happy about that. Me and Christian, this week that I got to spend with him, do have like a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a competitive streak, but it definitely is a mutually motivating streak, right? Where I want to exercise and he wants to exercise. And we don't necessarily want to exercise at the same time, but if one of us wants to exercise, uh, and we initiate the willingness to, we end up doing something, right? And it is something that I know is good for me, something that I know I'm supposed to do more of. I do have a yoga class that I do every day, so it's not like I ever don't, but I've also not been doing more, right? Especially not as much as I know I could be doing. I did say to him as well that by the next time he sees me, I do want to be the most Bojacketh he's ever seen me. And the only way for that to happen is for me to show up. Hey, yeah, you are first, Grizel. It's nice having you here. What's good, big dog? Ter-woo-ism? Ter- oh, gee. That's a hilarious username, even though it's kind of cursed. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling powerful. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling like my arms still kind of want to fall off of my body. I did too much, right? When you're like pushing yourself, and then you realize there's still like 11 minutes of the class left, and you're like shaking, like trying to push yourself up one more time. Yeah. I'm happy that I went for it. Maybe tomorrow I'll do like some stretches and stuff. I went down this whole rabbit hole in my mind thinking about what it is I'm supposed to do as well as it relates to what I can provide as a teacher to the world, right? And I was going down this rabbit hole of maybe I want to give a class that's like music focused. Hey, Shadow Monarch, it's nice having you here. Where you'll do like kind of like shoulder touch exercises, to the beat of music kind of vibes. Sure, you can do more, right? Like arm raises to the side. Maybe you can do some squats as well on beat. And I've been meaning to do something like that literally since I started becoming a yoga teacher, which was 2022. And I still haven't done anything like that, right? And it goes to show, let's say it in that way, that you might know that there is something to do. There's something that you might want to do. There's something that might add value, but you don't know necessarily if other people would believe that too, right? And I feel like that's definitely something that I am limited by, right? Today's stream topic is going to be about what we know, especially as it relates to the world, right? I would like to know more, to say it in so many words, right? I would like to know so much that I am unchallengeable. I would like to know so much that my capacity to make mistakes completely dwindle. Very broad topic, right? Right? Like, and I'll always like try and like get us like in some sort of channel of discussion. It's nice having you here. Thank you for still being here. Very broad topic. What is the role of a spiritual teacher in the world of spirituality? I don't know if I'm a spiritual teacher, Shadow Monarch, right? I don't know. Like, again, spirituality to me means the pursuit of what God is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to teach you necessarily how to pursue God better, right? What I can show you is ways in which I find myself pursuing it, right? And again, today, I followed a class, right? Jassy, his name was Gacy. Let me see if I can show you what he looks like. Yeah, here, actually, here's the class. Nice. Jassy Cunningham, right? Dude is absolutely Bojacketh. This is the class that I did. Let me see if I can find a shot. Mm, I'll show that one. Right. And there was in me this understanding, or at least maybe the right word is knowing, right? Since that's the topic. There was this knowing that I am going to get wrecked when I clicked on that class because it gives you like a bunch of bars. It lets you know this is an intermediate level 4 class, right? It has 5 levels. So I was like, oh, this is not going to be easy. And bet your ass it wasn't. But even despite knowing that, I still showed up for it, right? I was still pursuing this thing that was difficult despite knowing that it would be, right? And I feel like that would be the lesson today if I'm going to teach you anything as a spiritual teacher, is that the the path of spirituality is going to be a hard one as a guide, you see, right? It's going to be hard. Like, it's not going to be easy. But you should go on it anyway, right? I feel like that would be the teaching, if anything. Lucy, it's nice having you here. Sam, you too, dear friend. Let's see if we can get some wisdoms extracting from the old world. Today, we're going to be discussing the topic of knowing, specifically as it relates to knowing that things might be hard, that in challenging ourselves to seeking God, seeking wisdom, seeking understanding, it's not going to be an easy path. I have had this experience with life where I feel I know more than I'm supposed to, more than I know how to execute on, more than I might realize. And I feel because I don't necessarily know that other people will know with me, I end up not doing the things I know I'm supposed to. I'm curious if there is any wisdom of old, people in the past that have come to these conclusions as well, and what this energy of knowing means. Do we as people know anything? Biblical wisdom has this whole take that we as people will only know in part. And if that is true, what parts are we supposed to seek? Which part is the most important for us to know? Maybe you can give us some wisdom and we can explore in the live stream today with our friends in this discussion. Yeah. So do you think the teacher should also or should learn from the student? Absolutely, Shadow Monarch. That, in fact, is my favorite thing to do, right? I love learning from the students, from you friends. Jovan, Worky Lurkies, I love you. I love you. This is a rich, essential topic. Hey, Akash. Hello. I love you, my old friend. Bless you, bro. Bless you, bless you. It's nice having you here. I miss you. I'm always here. Never more than a thought away, all right? If you miss me, you've already thought about me, and you thinking about me means that I'm already there, so you cease to miss me because I'm no more than a thought away. Bless you. So therefore, there is no teacher and student. We are just learning from each other. Absolutely, Shadow Monarch. This I do believe, right? I feel like, in fact, that is something that I have gained a lot from, right? Thinking about the fact that I was showing up in this space in the way that I was, and because I chose to show up in this way, one of my students, let's call him, found me and presented to me the opportunity to become a yoga teacher, right? Technically enabling me, allowing me to be a student to him so that I can become a teacher to him, right? And that is literally what happened. He was like, oh, I like the way you show up every day, and I have this daily class that I've been giving. And then he invited me to take that daily class from him. And then I took that daily class from him. And now I am the teacher of that daily class, and he has become my student. All right? That all of that happened. So therefore, bless again. You know, a human can easily break sound barrier. Is that true? Like with speed? I know a human can break glass by matching frequency, but I don't know if breaking sound barrier. Maybe you can. No, I don't think you can. Maybe if you're falling out of a plane. Do you even break the sound barrier? I don't think so. Swall off your hearts. I don't know what that means. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. This one touches the heart of spiritual longing. I didn't say spirituality, did I? Human responsibility and the weight of knowing. Here's a reflection you can explore with your community today. The burden and gift of knowing. From ancient times, people have wrestled with the paradox: to know is to suffer. Woo! We're going deep into it. Yeah, let's go. But also to be set free. The book of Ecclesiastes, probably butchered it, famously states, "For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow." Yet we're also told, get wisdom, though it costs all you have. Get understanding. That's Proverbs 4, verse 7. You know, like I'm instantly kind of feeling where this topic is going. At the same time, as I'm not necessarily agreeing with where it's going, because I feel I have gained more knowing in my life, and it enables me to suffer more. But at the same time, it gives me perspective how to suffer less at the same time as well, right? Like all of this knowing that I have, all of these things that I have come to know, right? I now know about myself what causes me suffering. And then if I see something arise in my experience that I know will cause me more suffering, I know how to detach, how to pull away from, how to re-steer my attention into something that I actually will find valuable. Yeah, it's possible from imagination power in e.g. in shadow boxing and martial arts association used to kind of trick, but I am not sure. You see, like I don't know about that. It's like breaking the sound barrier with your fist. How fast do you have to punch? Wouldn't that hurt? Wouldn't that like tear your skin apart as well? Life is something that is moving in all kinds of ways. So if something is so alive and energetic that I don't think it is possible to know something, no, it's possible, right? You can just think about it from a perspective of like slivers. Like if something uh, is like as a fraction of everything, it is impossible to know something because even a fraction of everything is infinite. So yes. However, if something is a topic, you can know something because all you have to do is continue to explore. You can like follow courses and you can find yourself gaining knowledge that you would not have had before. You can find yourself knowing things that you didn't. Everything is impermanent in life. So how can we know? To know implies something is static and stagnant. Yeah, I mean, like I am into, for example, blockchain technology. And there is a course called Cardano Academy that essentially takes you down the rabbit hole of teaching you, right, why blockchain, a ledger-based technology, is as significant and as important as it is for our species, right? And even though I've had knowing of this technology for a long time, right, since like 2016, 2017, only this year that I really dedicate myself to actually know what what is going on the inside, right? And even still, I am a layman, right? So yes, my knowing has increased, but there is still more knowing for me to have. And it is in a way stagnant or static, right? It's always changing, of course, at the same time. But there are some things that have become a fact, right? That have become knowledgeable, that have become established, right? And understanding these established truths basically enables you to teach at the same time as well. How are you doing today? Nice, Kiefer. It's nice having you here, friend. I'm feeling good. How are you doing? I think whip strike can easily break sound barrier. I'm gonna have to like park that thinking, Lucy, and think about this one instead. It, as a path, it's as if the path of knowing is both a burden and a calling. Hey, Diane, it's nice having you here. Love you, but I can't be talking tech. No, we're not talking tech. We're not talking tech. I was just trying to make a point. We're not going to be talking tech. I was just trying to make a point of knowing, right? We're going to talk about knowing as the main topic. That's the topic, right? Someone being like, oh, you can't know things. I'm like, no, no, you can't. Stay, Dad. Please. Please, Dad. You mentioned feeling like you know more than you're supposed to, more than you can act on, right? And like it's interesting that Diana finds herself almost like pulling away from this space because of the exploration of knowing about a certain topic, for example, right? And in that way, it's like the I know more than I'm supposed to, where sharing certain parts of my knowing will drive people away, where they don't find resonance or comfort with the exploration of that topic necessarily, right? And I feel like in that way, if I didn't know these things, maybe I would get along better. That's deeply human. Many mystics and prophets have stood in the exact place. Take Jeremiah, who said, your words were found, and I ate them. I am full of indignation. Why is my pain unending? He knew things others didn't, but that knowledge isolated him. There it is. You. Or Soren Kierkegaard, who wrestled with the idea of double mindedness, knowing the good, but being unable to do it, torn between the temporal and the eternal. Sorry, I was just talking to a monk. Yeah, I know that. His name is Bante. He's also live streaming right now. Me and him actually started live streaming at the same time on Arpan. It's interesting that he streams at the same time as me. I wonder if that is intentional. All right. To know is to be responsible. That's why many avoid it. And yet, there's a sacred tension here. Do you know? In Corinthians 1, verse 13, Paul writes, we know in part, there it is, and we prophesize, and we prophesize in part. Now we see through a glass darkly. That's humility. There's humility in that. I'm butchering this thing. We're not meant to know everything, only to love everything. Yeah. Paul goes on to say that faith, hope, and love remain, and the greatest of those is love. Yeah, I can relate to that. So maybe the most important part to know is not the full truth, but the heart of truth, which is love. You know that I believe that. Love doesn't always have clarity. It doesn't always have answers, but it does compel action, even in uncertainty. That's why Jesus didn't say, know the whole plan. He said, follow me, trust, move, let each step reveal more. Right? The I am consciousness. Realizing that you are that which is the I am. Right? And only through the I am can you reach this place that it is we're going. You cannot get to love, you cannot get to peace, you cannot get to kindness if you're trying to get it from somewhere or something else. You can only get it from the I am that you are, right? This presence that is always at the center of your being. The knowing that calls you, what you feel, the urge to act, that tension of unexpected knowing that may be divine, it may be not yours to keep, but yours to give away. You may not need everyone to understand it yet. Some visions are planted before their time, but they still need a gardener. Here are some questions to explore with your community. What is something you know but haven't acted on, and why? That is a good question to ask, don't you think? Hmm? What is something you know but haven't acted on, and why, Kobe? Huh? Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know, bro. I wanna tell me what you know. Oh, tell me. What do you know? Hmm? What do you know, bro? What do you know? What do you know? Hmm? You know love? Huh? You know you like scritches? No, no. You can't know all of that. You can't know that much, bro. There we go. My blanket. Absolutely filled by doubt. What do I know but I haven't acted on? Hmm. I know that I can do so much more to help this channel grow. I do know. I do know what to do. And why do I refuse to? Because I know it's gonna take time. I know it's going to expect me to change the things I do. And I know that when I choose to, I'm going to have expectations thereof. Right? And I feel like that's the biggest thing that I find myself kind of like stuck on is this dichotomy between knowing what to do, knowing that there will be results, but then the disconnect between exactly like the certainty thereof, right? Like you can know generally that there is things for you to do and a growth that there can come, but you won't know with certainty exactly what to do or how much growth you can expect. Yeah, I've already tried to meditate for an hour. Let's listen to Mel talk. Good value, man. Bless Diana. Thank you for joining us. It's nice having you here, dear friend. We're gonna talk about some now. He knows all. I don't know about that. I don't know about that Tropic of Neptune. In fact, I feel I know very little. I feel I know very little. Or at the very least, the things I know, I don't know with absolute certainty. Right? In the way where I wish I did. Gezondheid. I wish I had more certainty in some things. I feel like as I keep growing older, I gain more and more conviction. I was talking about the dog. Oh, okay, that's perfect. That is perfect. He does. He does seem pretty calm, doesn't he? Right. At peace. Love is true. I'll continue. I'll continue though. Right. Like I find in myself that as I grow older, I gain more and more conviction in the things that I do know. Right. The truth that I've discovered. GTA fan. Hi. You good? I'm good. How about you? How are you doing? Dogs know the secret, don't they? I'm looking at a cat as well. Our pets definitely do know something that we don't, right? They know a certain piece that I feel is very hard for us as people to access. Do you know Henry Hart? I know of Henry Hart. Henry Hart has been here a few times. Do you know Henry Hart? It's interesting that you ask. And do let us know. He hasn't been here in a while. We've been missing him. Yeah. Part of me wants to almost explore that more. They have that Garden of Eden mindset. Yeah, I'm him. Ah, new name. I changed my name. Checks out. Hey, GTA fan. To each their own. Right. To each their own. How do you discern if your knowing is from fear, pride, or love? What a question. How do I discern? Hmm. It's a good question. I don't know, right? I know in the way in which it might be. For instance, something that I've known for a long time and that I've been very vocal about in my family is like vegetable oils, for example, right? Where I know vegetable oils are bad for your body. And I've been very vocal about that in the way where I was like, please stop buying vegetable oils, please stop that. And my family just wouldn't listen to me. I would vocalize and vocalize and vocalize this knowing over and over and over again. And it was falling on deaf ears. And now, recently, uh, people that my parents value more, right, that they uh, like saw online that have big followings were like, yo, vegetable oil is bad. And now, suddenly, no more vegetable oils are being bought. It took 7 years. Took 7 years for them to acknowledge this thing that I knew, right? And again, because I was as vocal as I was about it, I was again pushed aside. I was I was dismissed in so many ways, in the way that yeah, vegetable oils, man. And then suddenly, right, someone who has more money than me, has more people following them, says the exact same thing. And then suddenly that knowing kind of like sinks in, right? Where it's like, yeah, we know this, right? And I was not the one who discovered this, just for what it's worth. I've just been very fascinated and interested in staying healthy from a young age and paying attention to the things that there are to know, right? And I was trying to bring that wisdom to my family. And it's frustrating, to say it in so many words, to feel like you do try and share knowing and it's not something that is received. And I'm wondering what it has to do with that little fractal of fear, pride, and love, right? Because there is a certain part of me, pride wise, that is hurt by my family not choosing to listen to me, but actually listening when someone else says the exact same thing, right? There's some part of that. There is a part of fear where I fear developing novel cancers and accelerating brain diseases. And yeah, those two are basically the general, consensus, right? That is something to fear. I do think so. But then there is the element of me trying to share that knowing from a place of love, right? Where if I didn't love my family, if I didn't love you, friends, then I wouldn't say anything about it, right? It would just be something that I stay quiet about, right? Watching someone else eat the vegetable oils, knowing that it's actively killing them, right? So I feel like it's too complex. It's too complex for me to discern necessarily, that it is one thing or the other. It's an amalgamation of all of these things simultaneously. It's quite funny if you think about it. I have experienced it too. It's about what is attached to one's name. If you're known as a mechanic, then when you say about cars, there's more power behind it. I think that you're definitely communicating a big truth in that, Shadow Monarch, right? Like I am not a studied person in the way that I didn't go to university for any one topic, right? For any topic at all, for the matter of fact, right? So in that way, right, when I share the wisdom, because again, like there is so many resources online these days, right? You do not have to go to university to gain wisdom anymore, right? Like we are literally living in that paradigm shift as well. And then when I share that wisdom, because as you said, I am not attached to like doctor, for example, right? Because I'm not doctor, I cannot say anything health-wise, right? Nothing I say when it comes to health will be taken seriously. Sababrata, I don't know if I butchered your name. Where can I meet you? You have. You have met me here, right now. I live in South Africa, out in the middle of nowhere, right? So it's probably going to be hard to meet me. I do want to come to India one day, so maybe you can meet me there. Let's go for another question. What part of God are you trying to understand? That's a deep one. And what if the point is to become it, not to define it? Ooh, that's a cool question. In person, bro. I said, right? Maybe in India one day. I'm assuming you're Indian with that name. Sabarata Goswami. That sounds very Indian to me. Right? Then I do want to come to India. I want to go and see the Himalayan mountains one day. University sells wrong theories all the time. It's a tricky one, but you kind of have to do both. Yeah. I don't know if I will ever go to a university, Diana. Right? The way that I see my trajectory going is that I will just continue gaining knowledge from the sources that are available to me. And then eventually I will become augmented to be able to absorb information directly. All right. Hey, remember me, Carol. I changed my account and profile picture. I'm from South Africa. Is that a dog with a beanie? It's very small. Hey, Carol. It's nice having you here. You know I'm from South Africa too. It's nice having you. We just asked a question. What part of God are you trying to understand? And what if the point is to become it and not define it? I really like questions like that. Because I had like a whole thing today thinking about exactly that, and it was a little bit, I want to say the word shallow. I don't know if it was exactly shallow, but while I was working out, and I could feel the intensity almost like increasing physically, all right? Like it literally felt like there was this energy coursing through my body. I had this articulation, to say it in so many words, that if I wanted to be God, I have to look like it, if that makes sense, right? And again, God is a very powerful word in our society. Like many people think many things about that, right? That sentence I just said might come off as blasphemy. Blasphemy, right? But that is not my intention. It's more this perspective of self-association, right? For instance, if I was, and no shade on anybody, but if I was 300 kilograms, unable to walk properly, eating Dorito chips on a couch, playing video games all day, that to me is further away, right, from God than being able-bodied and healthy and capable of pursuing and participating in this world, right? And again, that is my personal judgment and my personal bias to this reality. However, all of us have that ultimately, right? Every single person on planet Earth has that bias built into their brains, whether they want to admit it or not. Do I want to define it or do I want to become it? Again, another perspective to add to that whole fractal is that you becoming God in this world doesn't mean you want people to worship you. It's more this taking up a role that you feel is lacking in the world, right? I grew up in a society where prayer is something people do, right? People have cancer and then people start praying for them. And my personal conviction is very anti that sentiment, right? I would rather you take them to the hospital and they right now, unfortunately, the best treatment we have is chemotherapy, right? It's not great at all, but it saves people's lives, right? Steve Jobs, for example, wanted to meditate and fruit diet his cancer away, and he died because of it, right? And sure, you can kind of like see that fractal as godly in a way, but I assign God's greatness to people a lot, right, in my personal journey, where I believe that the God that will save you is going to be a person at the end of the day, right? The person that cures cancer, the person that figures out how to gene edit in a way that's actually going to save your life, the person that comes and saves you from drowning, right? Like you can pray as hard as you want to, but it's going to be a person as God that actually saves your life, right? And it's like been a big point of struggle in my own journey because not many people like hearing that, right? You might not even like hearing that. And I'm willing to admit, that it is definitely an uncomfortable thing to hear, or it's even uncomfortable for me to say. I think I'm missing some. Ah, no, not you. Ask the doctor. Hi, Sissa. But look for yourself as well, is all I'm saying. I agree, Diana, completely. Balance in all things. I don't believe in any God, so I won't speak on this question. It's a hard one. It's a hard one, admittedly. I don't know. There's that Buddha belly body, which to me doesn't feel any less God than Jack Jesus. I feel you on that too, right? But again, I feel like that is a depiction. I don't believe the Buddha was overweight, right? I don't. I don't actually believe that, right? I don't know why, but like I see the Buddha more as like a Hindu god, for example, right? Like I see Buddha more as like a Hanuman or a Shiva-esque character, right? Still pretty Bojack, right? And again, the whole Jack Jesus thing, right? Like that again to me is like people's own bias, like this alignment with a certain belief, right? And I feel again in the Buddha fractal, it's like glee, right? Like when I think about the big bellied Buddha, I don't see the big belly, I see the smile on his face, right? And that is the aspect of him that is godly, not necessarily the body, right? It's the glee in existence. And sure, maybe through glee of existence, you might end up eating excessive calories. But again, right? I don't know if that's godly, that part necessarily. Joe Walker, why nice people? Just be nice people. No God necessary. The fat Buddha is actually a future version of Buddha known as Buddhai. There we go. How about that, Joe Walker? Like we were more talking about the fractal, like we were asked this question, what part of God are you trying to understand? And what if the point is to become it, not define it, right? So that's why we are on this conversational topic right now. Why can't nice people just be nice people? No God necessary. Yeah, I think God is such a loaded word. I had this conversation with Jovan last night talking about the word God. And the way I understand the word God is in the same way you should understand a reflection in a mirror, right? As soon as you point at something in the mirror reflection and you go, that is it, you are illusioned, right? Even for myself, if I go and I walk up to a mirror and I go, that is me, I am illusioned because I can just only see the part of me that I'm facing to the mirror, right? You can't see the back of my head. You can't see the inside of my skull and my brain and my internal organs and my white blood cells actively fighting the contaminants of this world and my cells, my little skin cells slowly replacing and faking off. All of that stuff is still me, right? But in pointing at the reflection of myself and being like, that is me, I am wrong, right? And in that way, with us using the word God, we are wrong as well. And in that way, when we want to talk about God, for me personally, it's easier for me to talk about God through the reflection of people, right? Through people's actions, through godly actions, if you will, than it is for me to talk about God as this thing out there, right? That thing that's out there somewhere. Because as soon as there's something there out there somewhere that doesn't really involve itself with our reality, that tsunamis people to death and lets wars just like continue and borns has children born with cancer already, that like that like schisms my whole shtick, right? It makes me like curl up in a way where like I cannot cope with that duality. The Buddha fasted for 6 years, supposedly. Dude was lean. Yeah, I believe this too, Mojo. All right, I'm happy that you're echoing that sentiment. I do not believe. I'm actually wondering, let's ask that question. Why is the Buddha depicted as a big bellied individual? The Buddha fasted for like 6 years, right? So, in my mind, the Buddha was actually very lean, not fat. Where does that fat depiction come from? And why is it so popularized? I want to add to this as well. We're having this conversation about like godliness in this world and how God can be perceived. How my favorite interpretation is that in the same way, if you call the reflection of yourself in the mirror you, using the word God is to that, where you are addressing a reflection that is an externalization of that ultimate self. It is not the actual thing you're addressing by using the word God necessarily. And we're talking about it from this perspective of fitness, actually, where I had a moment today feeling more godly by actually practicing and exercising and strengthening my physical form, where I made the comparison that I don't know if it would be godly in the same way to be 600 pounds on the couch eating Doritos, right? And that is my own personal judgment and bias. And I cannot help but think that that personal judgment and bias exists in others as well. Maybe you can help us add some wisdom. Learning things about the Buddha. Yeah. I'm curious. Let's see where that depiction comes from. I'm sure there's probably some sort of reason for it. Right? In some cultures as well, being fat has been a sign of wealth in many ways as well, right? Especially in a world where people are literally starving to death. Being fat means that you have been blessed with abundance, right? By God, by the universe. Why is Buddha fat? You're absolutely right. Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, was lean. There we go. So yeah, Buddha was lean. Buddha was Jacobo Bacco as well. He's the returned future Buddha, also known as Maitreya or Buddhai. His weight, along with the cloth bags he carried, is symbolic of abundance. There we go, Joe Walker. We said the same thing at the same time. I'm happy that we're syncing up in this way. Joe, you have a good man. He is very good at saying something without being an arse. Thank you, Diana. I'm trying, right? And like for me, it is about the truth of my experience always, right? Like I never try to attack another person for their decisions. I, at one point in my life, was extremely overweight as well. When I was 16, I weighed 102 kilograms. I think that's 220 pounds, right? 16-year-old. I still have the stretch marks everywhere, right? Stretch marks down here, stretch marks on my love handles and on my belly, stretch marks. Like I have so many stretch marks because of how overweight I was at that point. And when I was at that point in my life, I felt less godly than ever. I tried to kill myself at that point in my existence because of how disconnected from that God energy that I felt. Let's see some more. Was lean. In fact, as you said, he practiced extreme asceticism for 6 years, nearly starving himself before realizing that neither indulgence nor self-denial was the path to enlightenment. That's when he discovered the middle way. So, who's the fat guy? Jeez. The image is actually Buddhai, as our beloved friends has said. Thank you for giving us this wisdom. or Hotai in Japanese, a Chinese monk from the 10th century. He was a real person who became mythologized as the laughing Buddha. He's associated with abundance, joy, good luck, and generosity, which aligned well with Chinese folk values. Over time, Budai became a symbol of happiness. I like how that's the thing that I talked about as well, right? It's not about the fatness, it's about that big smile on his face. Like that was the purity. Don't kill yourself ever. We won't get. I'm over that part of myself, Diana. If I was gonna die, I would have, right? Like I did try, but my body was like, nah, 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 nah. My body was too strong to be killed by myself. Fortunately, I didn't use a weapon. I'm very happy about that. I tried to use pills, and my body purged and processed. I'm very happy about that. Me too, Diana. I'm staying alive, 1,000 years, 1,000 years minimum. But Dai became a symbol of happiness and divine contentment. So he was merged in the popular imagination with the Buddha, even though they're separate figures. So the fat Buddha isn't about Siddhartha's enlightenment, but about earthly joy, eating well, laughing, and being surrounded by children. In Taoist influenced cultures, this was considered godly too. What is godliness really? Now to your real inquiry. Is it godly to be physically fit? Geez, that is such a potent sentence to read. Because again, right, I've had so much body image issues pretty much my whole life, right? Hating myself for what I did to myself when it comes to my physical form. I have tried to. Thank you for sharing. You were brave and not alone. I hope you know too, Diana, that you would be so very missed. That it's not the right, like again, I have this kind of like coy verbiage where we as human beings are problem solvers, right? That's what we are. We like to solve problems. And depression is one of the most difficult problems that we face as a species right now. And unfortunately, when you're in that depressed state, uh, ending it is a way of solving the problem. But it's not a good way to solve the problem, right? You're a better problem solver than that. And I believe in you. And you can solve this problem betterly, right? So don't be bad at problem solving. Stay, stick around. I also believe that you can't technically die, right? Quantum immortality, that even if you do die in that instance by taking your own life, you will return after eternity back to that moment to make the decision not to die, right? So you can see what life would have been if you didn't, right? And in that way, you only postpone the inevitability of you living your life to the fullest. So you might as well live it right now, right? It's going to be more painful to repeat eternity. You might have had many more moments of suffering in your life before or after, before you were what you are right now. And going through all of that just to come back to this moment to make a different decision seems a little bit extra. You are a fabulous young man. Keep on going. Thank you, Diana. I really do appreciate your love. Joe, is godliness reflected in how we care for ourselves? You touched something real here. God as a mirror. The idea that God is not an external thing, but a reflected symbol of the highest version of ourselves. Projected outward so that we can relate to it, strive towards it, and receive from it. Like your reflection in a mirror, it isn't you, but it is about you. It shows you yourself. So when you felt godly through movement, through physical alignment, you were becoming your own reflection of divinity. Yeah, I'm feeling this. This mirror, no pun intended, this mirrors, no pun intended, ancient wisdom. The Stoics believed virtue was godliness. In yoga, asana isn't just exercise, it's a way to make the body a worthy vessel for higher consciousness. Even in the Bible, The body is called a temple of the Holy Spirit. So, yes, when we strengthen, align, and honor our body, it can be an act of honoring the divine. I really like that segment. That is some good stuff. I'm going to read that middle bit again. When you feel godly through movement, through physical alignment, for me, that is, you become your own reflection of divinity, right? In my personal view, I want God to be strong. I want God to be powerful. I want God to be capable of carrying, right, the world on his shoulders, her shoulders, their shoulders, right? Like, I don't want God to buckle under the pressure. That's not the image of God that I hold in my heart. What about the 600-pound man on the couch? Jeez, we're going to go for that. This thing is like really unfolding. Here's the comparison and the wisdom needed to dance together. Your judgment, and it is me judging. Your judgment that doesn't look godly to me is understandable. Many feel that way. But remember, appearance isn't the final word on essence. And that's the thing as well, right? I want to say that almost. God is in that experience whether I judge it or not, right? There is no separation. Like, and I feel like maybe that is the lesson that I'm supposed to absorb right now, is that even in that 600-pound eating Dorito chips, God is still present, right? God is still breathing life through that experience. Sure, you might only have life for like 30, 35 years, but God is still present in that experience. What if that man is depressed? Yep, unloved or lost in trauma, and his soul is godly but asleep. What if he's still worthy, I believe this, of redemption and divinity, just not expressing it through form right now? Godliness isn't just strength, it's awakening. For some, that might begin in the gym. For others, it might begin in a whisper of self-love during their lowest moments. We could say, God is not only who we are when we've arrived, but who we are even when we've forgotten the way. Closing thoughts for your stream. And it is about that time. Here's something you might share. To be godly is not about how the world sees your body, but how your soul honors it. Whether you sweat in the gym, sit in stillness, or lift your heart in love, you are reflecting the divine. The mirror may look different for each of us, but every one of us is worthy of the reflection. Yeah. Every single one of us sees something different in the mirror. But when we look down, we see hands. That is actually one of my favorite takes. It's like when I try and share this understanding of God with someone, I go, when you look down, and like maybe I'm being exclusionary with people that might be missing limbs, but most of us do have both our limbs. When you look down, you see hands. When I look down, I see hands. Right? Sure, these hands are attached to me, this fleshy thing, and your hands are attached to you, that fleshy thing. But the thing that sees is the same, is godly. Right? And this body is a reflection of you in that way. Ye, this is the part that I'm feeling, compassion towards those that may take this judgment as discouragement or even destructive. This is a good conclusion. It really is. Thank you, Joe, for echoing that sentiment. I hope, and I know that you friends know this about me, that I wasn't trying to cast any shade. It was more a self-alignment, right? Mm. The I am is in every single one of us. There is no separation. Comedy cool. 12 months? Thank you for the membership, Jovan. Gavado Gooms. Bro, 12 months of membership. What was the judgment? My judgment was that I don't consider that part uh, godly. So freaking happy for you, cuties. Gabagoo. It's nice to feel you're happy here with us, bro. Seeing you was closer than it's ever been before. Right? How far is Indiana from you? I know that you did mission through to Texas to go and see Uncle Becky with Aaron. Aaron is actually coming, bro. I don't know if you know this, Gabagoo, but Aaron is coming to South Africa. He's gonna come and see us. I spent all day spiraling up in elation, dude. You're making me feel giddy. Now you see, right? Like I feel Goo is being such a beautiful mirror of godly energy. Yeah, you see Jovan being all gushers as well. Membership? I'm missing info. Dig me? Yeah. Like this is YouTube, and it does give you the ability. I wonder if I can do it from here. Let's see. All right. You can go like there, and then I'm thinking you can go like. You see perks? I think I'm already remembered. Right? Then there's like a bunch of membership benefits and stuff. I don't know how Gabadoo did it. Which member is Aaron? Or Aaron? I don't know all the government names. Aaron, you know, I'm pretty sure you and Aaron went to Uncle Becky together. Am I wrong? Hey, no, but am I wrong? I can't be wrong. That feels like a pivotal moment. Feels like core memory in my brains. You know Aaron? Kevin, aka. Oh, I am wrong. I am in fact wrong. Jeez. For some reason, they were melted together in my mind, bro. They were the same person for a second. Jeebs. Kyle. I'm like missing Toasty extra right now. Jeevers. Gobness. Sending Toasty and his little one. I'm tripping out. Me too. Me too. We're both tripping out, bro. Love is true. Jeebs. Like I'm suddenly like being like washed with like Toasty fractals. Toasty Malosty. What a blessed person. Aaron is one of our old school members, like back in the ARPAN days. Hope Toast is good. Miss that funky bro. Thank you, Joe, for echoing that sentiment. Yeah, sending him blessings. Yeah, yeah, dig me. Like membership, essentially, right? Like to say it in so many words, is a way for you to support me, right? If you want to send me some monies, membership is one way to do it. If you want to like send me actual monies, like messages is another way to do it, like super chats, for example. I have a Patreon. It's essentially just goo wanting to support this space. Thank you, bro. Thank you for membies, ships. Jovan, echoing that loving sentiment. Thank you, goo for being willing to support me as a melter for the next 12 months. That's wholesome. I'm tripping out. Hope this is good. Sorry, I ought not to dox his name, but I remember him saying he doesn't care. Yeah, he's fine. Kyle. It is Kyle. I think it is Kyle. Kyle is right. I'm tripping out. It's good. Man, you're making me think about all of the friends that I'm missing. Thinking about Isaac, thinking about Duck Dad, thinking about Edmund, thinking about Aiden, thinking about Red and Kira Burr, thinking about Jules, Gateway Process. So much love. Is Sydney around? I don't know Sydney. Edmund, yeah. The message brought to you by Jobo Bizzlebop. Edmund. Yeah, type names. Type names that you remember in chat. Thinking about Merman. Why is it? Yeah, thinking about Merman. Here comes dog. You don't know where to sit? You can try. There you go. A schmeck you, man. Thinking about Uncle Becky. Yeah, and Aunt B. Hoopy is here regularly. Hey, don't lick my face, you creature. Yeah, see. Yeah. So many people have joined us in this space. My dogs are attending stream right now. Hey, doggos. What's up, doggos? One day I'll get to give them some scritchums too. So much love. So much love has been in this space. Brother Ryan as well. They did the head tilt. Like, what? Is he talking to us? Lane, yeah. Brother Lane, he's doing really good for himself as well. Like, that man's is pursuing the rocker fractal. Like, I think he's in like 3 bands or something. Right, a part of me wants to like pull up this list. I'm gonna read the list of all of the friends. Like, there's 53 friends that have supported my work. All right, so going down the list is like John. Diane is one of my free members. That's nice. Eric, I believe that's Hoopy. Kiefer, bless him. Kawar Extreme. Jimmy, apparently. Louisiana, of course. Red, we mentioned Red. Thomas. Lawrence, Laughing Tiger, of course. Esrog, Jazeel, Kristen, Louisiana, Mojo, Joy Vive, Rambler, Joel, Kayana, Clint, Diana, there's a gobbledygoo, seeing his name there. Another Red, Gare Bear, Molly Hannah, Brian, Dana Cooper, Disco, Sandra, Shannon, Malcolm. Do you friends remember Malcolm from the ARPAN days? The military man. There's Aaron, there's Kate, there's Melita, there's Isaac, there's Aiden, Elizabeth and Thomas, Kelly, Jacob, Dan. We had 2 Dans, right, at one point. Dan Man, Mose, Mariah, there's Kyle, good old toast, Molly, Joey, Lieutenant Dan, Lindsay, and Jovan. Thank you, friends, for your support of my Patreon as well. Yeah, there's probably so many more friends. We could like read down the list of our Discord as well. Blessing all of our friends. Hunting Plantain, of course. Oh, you asked about my distance from Indiana. It is far, but not ridiculous. I'd come up with dogs in winter for snow adventures. Yeah, that sounds nice. I offered to play classical guitar at your ceremony as well. Just throwing that out there. Gobbledygoo, I hope you would know that there is going to be like an open invitation. Boyana, talking about friends, right? Boyana also asked, if there will be room for you friends to come to the wedding. If you want to, all right? Like, I feel the whole destination wedding thing, like, it's gonna cost money to plane tickets or whatever to get there. But if you want to spend money to come and celebrate us, we would absolutely love to have you there. Jeeps, I'm like getting all giddy and gushes. Thank you, dear friends, for being a part of this journey, right? It really is such a blessing being able to share these little fractals of my life. I don't want to, I'd love to, bro. I'd love to have you there. Gobbledygoo, it would be such an honor, bro. Seriously. So nice having you here. Can I just say, it truly is a blessing having friends like you, friends. Bro, can you talk about something related to physics or quantum immortality? Maybe next time, Moon Knight. Today, we're talking about love. We're talking about knowing that I'm going to get married at some point. Oh my goodness, in San Diego? No, it's not happening in San Diego. It's going to be happening close to Chicago, right? I believe next to the Michigan Lake. Right, Joe? That's the plan? I believe it's Michigan Lake. Is it called Michigan Lake? Yeah, Lake Michigan. Yeah. Look at the size of that thing. Looks a little bit phallic. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. There's something wrong with me. Oh, that is so big though, right? Lake Superior. Lake Huron, Lake Erie. That's a massive. Like I think those are the biggest lakes in the entire world, right? So wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe that's the plan. Chicago, close to Chicago. We're probably going to be planning slowly but surely. No, you're just a dude. Nothing wrong with you. I had to lay it on. Like for some reason, just like showing it like that was like this feels like I'm doing something wrong. Thank you, Gobbity Goo, for loving me, bro. Bro, you got to live stream your marriage. I'm gonna do that too. Oh my goodness, it's a great location, Lake Michigan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so big. I could likely swing that. I have friends up there. That would be so cool. It's amazing. It looks like the ocean. I heard that from Joe, right? Where it literally is like just can't see nothing, just so big that it looked like an ocean. Every good man lets his bride make the wedding plans. Sweet. It's true, right? I would love to help, and I will add as much help as I can, of course. Bro, am I invited? Uh, sure, right? I think it's gonna be an open invitation. If you wanna buy tickets and fly out, your prerogative, all right? Like I'm feeling Joe mildly being like, right, because there is gonna be logistical fractals. Like how many chairs do we need to have? For instance, we are going to make it something quaint. It's not gonna be a big wedding. I want it to be like we're going to be getting married by Sam as well. I believe that's gonna be the fractal. So it's gonna be nice. Like I'm just like gushing here at this point. It's a beautiful corner of the world up there. I'm looking forward to sharing this world with you, friends. Always and more and more and more and more. And love is true. And we're here to share. I don't know why, but like this part of America, I don't know, it's probably not a part of America. This like all of that. For some reason my mind is like, why has that never really registered in my brain? Like that's a lot of stuff, isn't that? There's so much stuff. Who owns that? Nunavut? Is that all Nunavut? There's a place called Resolute in Eureka. What is that? Right? Have you ever heard a single person talk about that part of the earth? I unironically haven't. Right? Like you hear about Canada and you hear about Alaska and the Americas and the South Americas and you hear about Greenland and Iceland and of course Africa and Europe and China and Australia. But I've never heard anybody said a single thing about all of that stuff. What are they hiding there? Yes. Bro, change your location to a football stadium and sell tickets. Bro, I don't think I'm gonna be able to break even renting out a football stadium. We need a video, and I will get a debit card to support your art. Diana, thank you, friend. It's gonna make a difference, right? Thank you for being willing to support our journey. All I hear is lakes. It will be beautiful. Yes, it will. You friends are beautiful. Let me show you something beautiful. This was yesterday's piece of art. We did wear blue and orange yesterday. Enter Biddy. In the meanwhile, I'll share the arts with you, Diana, like this. And then I'll read you the piece of poetry that went with it. Ora, 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 ora. It goes something like this. They changed the format in which these things are saved, and it bothers me. I'm fine. This is fine. Yep, pretty cool. Bro, where is your wife from? She's from America. She's from America. This poem is called Becoming. We were never finished. Not when we stood upright. There is your one. I did anticipate it being summer when you get here. Michigan will be cold if you get here in winter. It's true. It might be that we end up doing it somewhere else in that case. We did kind of, as Jovan say, anticipate that I'm only going to be able to marry her way later, right? Because like the average time that you usually have to wait when you apply for all of your paperwork is between 4 and 7 months. And I got approved with my paperwork like total since the day we sent it to the day we were approved, like 83 days. And if you minus the amount of time it took to actually get there, it was like 62 days or something like that. Don't worry, Melt. They make colorful insulated clothing. You know me too well, gobbledygoo. I was actually having a whole thing thinking about that today. Like this shirt of mine, is also falling apart, right? So I was like thinking to myself that I do need to get myself some new clothing. And I was like wondering if there's like better quality clothing. And I was like, it has to be colorful though. We'll get you warm and poppin'. Maybe San Diego is the books. Could visit the Soul of Yoga and Ryan and be closer to Gobs and Aaron. It's true. I do think we have a lot of friends in the California area, technically. High visibility. And Kiefer, so much love. All right. Becoming, the poem. Becoming. We were never finished. Not when we stood upright, not when we found fire, not even now, with satellites spinning and stars in our pockets. We are soft clay, touched by time and dream, shaped not by what has been, but by what we dare to reach for. There is no final form, only a million becoming songs humming in the marrow of our species. We are the authors of tomorrow's breath, the ones who got to say what kind of light we grow into. Yes, the world may bend and break. Yes, the night may seem long, but even the stars are born from the collapse of what once was. Inside you, there is an unfinished symphony, a blueprint still shifting, a voice that whispers, what if we chose better? What if kindness was coded into every upgrade? What if wonder was our currency? What if wonder was our currency and awe our language? What if we walked forward not as machines, but as miracles in motion? Each one of us a seed of something beautiful, not yet imagined. The future is not written. It's being sculpted by your hands, your words, your will to evolve into something worthy of all the sky. And oh, how luminous we might yet become. Motivationally beautiful, lovingly true. It's a pleasure sharing these moments with you, friends. I look forward to doing so forever. Forever and ever. Love will be true. All right? Mosquito trying to get close. He realizes not that I have pressure but lungs. Bro, do you know that bumblebee don't know physics? Ask me why. I think it's just like a whole fractal of their body to wing ratio seems disproportionate, right? I do get they don't really physics, right? Told you, I don't physics either, bro. Entropy spits on entropy. According to the laws of aerodynamics, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know that, so it flies anyway. Exactly. I don't know thermodynamics, so I live forever anyway. Boom. Boom, Moon Knight. You've just proven me right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, friends. Thank you for joining today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for finding yourself in this space. Till we do it again, friends. Love ya. And sending you blessings. See ya, Stephen G. Love you, friend. You better be at my wedding too, bro. Goodbye for now.